Get involved now. Be on the right side of history. Be on the side of good. Wear the white hat. This is your chance to be involved in human history.
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. You fucking goddamn fucker.
There's a fucking murderer right down the hall. Oh, yeah?
We should not submit to dehumanization. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. We're going to stand up and we're going to be human beings. We're going to get fired up about the real things, the things that matter. Creativity and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say. Continue your course.
Newsletter. The World Economic Forum, in their weekly Strategic Intelligence newsletter, the World Economic Forum spotlighted the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which they define as a fundamental change in the ways we live and work, merging the physical, digital, and biological worlds and fusing technologies in ways that create both promise and peril. They link to a library of articles on the subject and give us the trending top 5. Requiring vaccine passports for certain activities, discrimination, or behavioral change. Except when the subject of discrimination comes up, it has nothing to do with a person's rights not to be vaccinated. The so-called discrimination has to do with lower income countries not getting the jab until 2022. The doublespeak is that not getting a vaccine for an imaginary virus is discrimination. The author, Joan Costa-Ifant, an associate professor of political science at the London School of Economics, writes that taking a vaccine is pro-social behavior and described those who would refuse a vaccine as vaccine resistant. Costa-Ifant went on to describe these people as contrarians, stating that their very existence might be healthy for the rest of us, and that vaccine passports would change their behavior by forcing them to get vaccinated if they wanted to travel. Costa-Ifant wrote that those who comply do so to virtue signal, and that this should be used as a way to push the vaccine passport. And if anyone thinks he is concerned about a dangerous pandemic, he also wrote that the use of passports should be limited to non-essential services. The next article, written by senior executive at Mitsubishi Chemical Corporation, warns that the world has only 10 years to change course before ultimate climate disaster. And the only way to save the world is to give government leaders oversight of policy, regulation, and research and development of all the world's industry. Sounds like old school communism, but they are now calling it circularity. In The Efficacy of COVID-19 Vaccines is Linked to Good Nutrition, the author admits that a healthy diet and nutrition will strengthen the immune system and protect a person from infection. But the efficacy to be concerned about is how malnutrition can affect the quality of immune response to vaccination. And what is of utmost importance is providing information on COVID-19 vaccines. A boring article on carbon revenue and the redistribution of wealth. And finally, how happiness, anger, and anxiety can help you negotiate, which speaks to their mentally ill communist cult selling the anti-human agenda on how it would be wise to reserve happiness and how anger can lead to gains by soliciting concessions from the counterpart. However, the anger must be deeply felt. The World Economic Forum is indeed a weird cult of big bank multinational corporation weirdos. But this is reality. without any sort of resistance, this global communist model is what's coming to your new normal. For Infowars.com, this is Greg Reese.
The general public has finally figured out why I'm upset. They figured out that the globalists are literally trying to kill us. They're trying to take over civilization and society. And they...
Welcome to Side with Side. Welcome to the Side with Side. Okay. My name is Christian Mostyn. I'm with Wesley Boyd. Top Chinese general says China must prepare for war. Not just war, world war.
I thought you were calling me a top Chinese general at first. The way your cadence was. Sorry. I was like, huh? What am I?
Yeah, we've got Wesley Boyd, the top Chinese general, right here with
Don't you? Yeah, I'm fentanyl's brother, heroin. I'm fentanyl's brother, older brother, opium. Opie! Oh, I'm Opie the Dragon.
Man,
there we go. She started a spinoff.
They send the fentanyl to the Mexican cartels because the Mexican cartels are just naturally, I mean, when you're in that business, you're anti the U.S. government because you're trying to crack down on your business, right?
Right.
So they're working together, and now China, and ended up being that the cartels gave China, they let them in, and they stocked up all North Mexico with like warehouses of military equipment, and they're ready, man. China is not playing around. I'm gonna be honest with you. China is not messing around. A lot of Americans are gonna get mowed over by Chinese, but
aren't you all glad that we have the ATF telling us we can't have grenade launchers and explosives? Isn't it really nice to have the ATF telling me I can't have an automatic weapon? The Chinese are going to invade pretty soon. It'd be really nice if I could have stocked up on a few explosive personnel stuff. That'd be really cool. But we stupid citizens can't be trusted with that kind of equipment.
I mean,
we have to let the government. Y'all see how good government does with all its shit. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people have just gotten so soft and spoiled, and we don't have like that. We've kind of gotten domesticated, and people think war is a thing of the past. Meanwhile, China is over there running concentration camps, and everybody is like, people are tough over there because, like,
literally,
you're not tough, you die. I mean, they're ready to kill. They did a survey, and I think 85% of the Chinese military said they have no problem killing women or children or old people if asked to. So you know what I mean? And over here, people start crying if a building like they got rid of eraser, like blackboards. They got rid of blackboards. They got rid of the word. They said master bedroom. The term was like it's racist. I mean, that's where we're at as society. Meanwhile, China's over there sharpening their knives. Subscribe to Side.
I guess everybody has this idea that everybody just does what we do. And we're just the greatest, and we're always going to be able to kick everybody's ass.
China does what? I mean, what we do what? You said what we do?
Oh, it's just China. We think everybody in the world does what we do because we're America. And we have influence over everyone. So, everybody wants our stuff, so they're going to do what we do, I guess, is kind of how I see it. It's like people don't think, like, other cultures do not respect you for your diversity. And they do not respect you for your gay rights. They do not respect you for your women's rights. Sorry. Most cultures do not.
Rigged. I mean, they're laughing at us because they're making our military do this exercise where they walk around in high heels.
Yeah.
What? See, that's why we're in danger, man. That's a real thing. Look it up. I mean, ideally,
it's like infiltration never happened.
Another guy, and he would like look shit up. But I mean, like I gotta multitask. I'm looking something else up, but
you're good.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just.
Dude, did you hear about that 65-year-old woman?
What? Yeah, I got freaking arrested
in Texas. Yeah, we gotta go over that too.
Yeah. No, I mean everybody thinks for some reason everybody thinks that like espionage and all that just stopped. Like there's no anytime you
Oh
tell like
yeah,
the Chinese government has infiltrated every single part of
people,
government
please
and
don't be
our
naive.
military. And people are
Please
like,
don't be
sure,
naive.
buddy, sure. America would never let that happen. There are some people with no stuff and blah. It's like all these years I've known all this information and been in the truth movement, whatever that means. It's like all I see these people saying, "We'll do this, that, and the other." There's a guy I knew. There was a guy I met once through his brother. He's like second to Congress. He like reports directly to Congress. So he's like he has this attitude of, "Oh, I'll know it if it's happening. I'm the man. I'm the expert because I work in high places of government." And it's
Man,
just like,
people are so,
okay, you either don't know shit or you're in on it. That at this point, if you were in the government within the last 20 years, you either don't know shit or you're in on it. You're either an ignorant, dumb bastard who just is useless, a tool,
whoa,
or you're in on it. And I'm sorry to be like that, but at this point, if you're just still sitting there trying to stay in your little lane and not getting in trouble and getting your pension, then go fuck yourself.
damn, Wesley is not holding back tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
So, I'm sick of all these people saying that they're the good ones in government and all that because they're not doing shit.
Okay, here we got this headline. I think is the one that puts it out there the best. Top Chinese general says China's got to get ready for war. So what I'm saying is, while they're trying to get you to think about Beyonce and Kanye, or like Kanye and Kim
Kim
getting
Kardashian.
divorced, and like what Cardi B is doing between her
Right.
legs and shit. China is getting ready to mow everybody down.
Yeah.
And
And
they've
even
got way more men than women because they've got the one I think they got rid of it, but the one child policy, right? So
yeah,
it's
I
like a
know they
huge
made it to where you
imbalance
can
of
have.
men and women. You're saying them, you want a woman, go to war, go get you one.
Now, if you can get permission from your local government, you can have 2 children instead of 1. And 1 can even be a
Yeah, that's
girl if it's
what they
approved,
want.
if the area gets approved for a girl.
Remember, this isn't a new thing. They've been planning this for hundreds of years. Aldous
Right.
Huxley, Brave New World, he said we're gonna
Yeah.
end human reproduction, and it's only gonna be made through approved by the technocracy, and it's not even gonna be regular birth. It's all gonna be test tube stuff. We're gonna end humanity, like as we know it. New World
Right.
Order. And Aldous Huxley was also a big time Satanist. I don't know if y'all know
Yeah.
about that.
They all are, pretty much.
Yeah,
They
that dude was man.
no
That dude was
and
doing acid like 100 years ago, and just
yeah,
getting all this information, man, from the other side.
yeah. People people need to understand something, that the cancel culture, a lot of that's still a distraction. You know, you have all these conservative bros and all that. Oh, Dr. Seuss gets canceled. Oh, I'm going to read the Dr. Seuss book on my live stream. Oh, aren't I such a rebel? And like, you realize that's all a distraction. Like, you notice nobody in the alternative media even wanted to touch Chinese troops training in Canada. That nobody wanted to touch that, but like InfoWars and Rebel News. Everybody else is like, whoa, I don't, or Tucker Carlson, I guess.
Yeah,
But it's just
the
like, whoa, I
Canada,
don't want to do it. I don't want to
man,
touch that. Because
Canadians
I'm going
think
to
they're
sound like a
like.
conspiracy theorist. So
I don't
therefore, I
like
can't
how
be that. Sorry.
like I have nothing against Canadians, right? There's good Canadians out there. Shout out Ezra Levant, Rebel News, all those guys. Guy McInnes, Crowder, Canadian. But like, there's a lot of these dudes that are like, oh, at least we're not America, and they look down on us, and they think they're like so open and free. Meanwhile, China's having military drills on their territory, and Trudeau's just selling everything out.
Well, he's
So
not, he's
they've
not,
already been taken over because they know Canada's already in the bag. That's where the invasion's gonna start, but y'all aren't ready for that conversation.
Well, he doesn't tweet mean things, so that's what's important. He doesn't tweet mean things, so he can do whatever he wants. He can sexually assault women. He can be Castro's kid. He can do whatever. He can praise China.
I think he's gay.
Yeah, who knows? But you can do all that, but as long as you're not mean on Twitter, because even conservatives, dude, that's what I heard from them. They're like, Trump just needs to quit with the Twitter crap, and it's just like, you realize that's the only way he gets to talk to people, right?
And I feel like people just say that because they heard it on mainstream media, and maybe it was Fox, and maybe for some reason
it's not the traditional way of communicating.
Like,
so therefore, they don't like it.
The everyday citizen, the regular common people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How are you supposed
to? So I would always
censoring you. That's why they took it away.
Right. So it's pretty funny. Like there's a story, I didn't get the link sent to you, I don't think. But was it the Pentagon, DOD, which is the Pentagon, I guess. They don't consider the First Amendment online to be a national security threat. They do not. So, the military's abandoned us when it comes to our First Amendment. Yeah. You would think that they would protect and defend the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic. Okay, cool. Looks like Twitter's gonna get hack attacked like a son of a bitch because they're not following what they're supposed to do. I'm not all for that. I'm not for the military getting involved in civilian shit. But you know what? It gets to the point, where you need to do something. If I act too much of a fool, I would get essentially the military sent after me. We call them ATF agents and FBI and all that. They have military force, apparently. There was a guy, they sent an Army armored truck with a battering ram on it, 6 FBI and four state troopers and 2 local sheriffs to go get this one family man who they said was at the Capitol on the 6th. They never say anything about him breaking in or anything, but he was filmed on the inside. They're using military force on everybody, but they can't use it on Twitter. Fucking.
There's this one dude that has a account. I think it's Brooklyn Dead or something, and he's 100% Trump is bad all the time, no matter what. And then, or not even that. I wouldn't say it's about Trump. It's about whatever the mainstream media says. He'll run with it all the way. And he was saying how every time he looks at the footage from January 6th, that he gets scared because it was worse than 9/11. Come on, man. It's so crazy. The January 6th thing was a whole thing that was blown out of proportion, double standard.
The cops stood down.
Everybody got set up. Let's admit it. We got set up.
Yeah. Those guys. Oh, Ashley Babbitt was on Tucker Carlson. Ashley Babbitt's a lawyer. Sorry, she's dead. Sorry, but her lawyer was on Tucker Carlson. He said they still don't have a reason why she was shot. They still haven't been told. Not even a government well, she was in an area that was designated such and such, which is a live fire area, and blah 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 blah. And congressmen were within 100 feet, so therefore we can shoot you and blah blah. But it's again, it goes but there was 5 cops behind her who saw her going through the window and didn't do anything. And they were just as shocked as everybody else that she was shot.
Maybe they just wanted to kill somebody so that people would start shooting and reacting.
I do.
Didn't work.
I think that was part of it, but I don't think the guy who shot her was set up. I think they were told there's 1 million people busting down the doors and they're gonna come hang and kill people and all that. So he saw someone jumping through the window and he was all scared and hyped up. A security guard who never pulls his gun just stands there and looks tough. And he finally had to actually pull his gun. And he wasn't trained properly, and he shot her.
I think he was a pro. I think he was put there to kill, because he
Right.
got
He
her
shot towards officers though. Like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, no, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like he shot towards the officers, like in their direction. You would think that he wouldn't want to do that. He shot her through the neck, and they were right behind her. So it's like I don't get where his thinking was.
Yeah. Well,
But
the whole thing is
but
crazy.
yeah. And
Anyway,
yeah, you're right.
So can you give a context for this? Tucker Carlson, they're trying to say that he's like fanning the flames of the insurrection we're talking about, right?
Right. The military came out. The military never does this. Military lets the media pundits do what they do. Politicians and whatever can talk about them. But the military usually doesn't get involved in domestic operations of any kind because it's a bad look, makes everybody nervous. So Tucker Carlson talked about the pregnant women being able to fly bombers.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the pregnant
so
flight
stupid,
suits
man.
and all that. And he's just like, pregnant women should not be in the military. And so,
yes,
so the
this is why
DOD
China's about to mow everyone's ass down.
starts coming after. So the DOD starts coming after Tucker Carlson just by like getting on their official page and talking about how he's fanning
Like,
flame,
like
how he's or now how he's like
Twitter.
Yeah, how he's like anti-woman, and you know our military is this and this. It's just this whole like fuck you. But the whole thing is people will see this. Yeah, people will see this and be like, oh, they're just responding to him, whatever. He's dealing with it every day. This is the military running propaganda on a news anchor. Military running propaganda propaganda campaign on a news anchor. If we were doing that in any country, that would be an act of war, right? Like, it's not like they're coming after us, is my point. They're coming after everybody. They're gonna see like, well, we warned him. He was bad. We gotta get him. And they had this, and all the headlines were, what was it? Pentagon. Shit, it was something to the fact of like
yeah, it was like a freaking
it was like strikes back on Tucker Carlson. It was like a military term where you would think, oh, you're gonna hit me violently with military force. Weird. It's in the article, but you can play response.
Let me show the video.
It turns out Biden is changing the United States faster than any president ever has in American history. Our job on this show is to pay attention to exactly how Joe Biden is changing it. The New York Times isn't going to tell you. We think you have a right to know. Now, not every change that Joe Biden makes will matter over time. Despite all the huffing and puffing, a lot of things that presidents do are quickly forgotten. Some of the things Joe Biden promises won't happen. Others are just symbolic ring kissing designed to appease the interest groups that got him elected. But some of Biden's changes are very real, and they matter very much. Nothing matters more than what Joe Biden does to our U.S. military. Our military is the last functional institution of any size in this country. It's the last institution most people trust and respect. It is by far the most important. A weak military means no country, period. So on Monday, when we saw Joe Biden pledge to bring a, quote, intensity of purpose and mission to really change the culture and habits of the U.S. military, we paid attention to it. Here's what Biden said.
Some of it's relatively straightforward work, where we're making good progress designing body armor that fits women properly, tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits, and updating requirements for their hairstyles.
Creating
every video of like Biden, he sounds like he's like not there. Like, I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah. Right. Tucker did another video. I think it was today, and he was talking about Boris Yeltsin in his last days, making a speech, and Boris Yeltsin did fall into dementia and go crazy. And like he's acting like Biden was 6 months ago. You know,
Really?
doesn't, yeah, just like, doesn't really know where he is. Just kind of, and they're like having to like coax him around and like, it's the same as Biden.
Putin
I don't think, right? Yeah, well, Putin, yeah, better than it was before, but still.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway,
But if you want,
yeah. Huh?
Flight suits. Maybe those suits have been around for a while. We'd never heard of them. But here was the president of the United States promoting them at a press conference. And that phrase stuck out, not because we have some hateful bias against pregnant women flying military jets. We're pro-pregnancy, as we often say. We're also open-minded. Maybe pregnant women make the best pilots. The Department of Defense measures everything, so there's got to be extensive research on this question. If the Pentagon can show that pregnant pilots are the best, we will be the first to demand an entire Air Force of pregnant pilots. The problem is we're pretty confident that Joe Biden hasn't asked to see those numbers. We'd bet money that Joe Biden never even thought to ask. The rest of us depend on the U.S. military to protect our families and protect the country itself. But Joe Biden doesn't see it that way. Finding the most effective military pilots or infantry officers or SEAL teams is not his priority. It's not even close to his priority. Identity politics is Joe Biden's priority. It's all that matters. You see this attitude throughout the U.S. government as well as in the corporate world. Key positions filled on the basis of physical appearance without any reference to ability or experience. Now, you can get by with that if you're Citibank, which now cares more about wokeness than about banking. They can explain the results to their shareholders 10 years from now. But it is not fine if your only job is to protect the United States from people who want to kill the rest of us. That is the worst kind of dereliction of duty. It's happening right now on an enormous scale. Just this week, the Biden administration announced that the Pentagon will pay for gender reassignment surgery for active duty personnel. How do sex changes in the military make this country safer? That's not a trick question. It's not another volley in the culture war. It's the only question that matters, literally the only question that matters. But no one bothered to ask it, probably because no one can remember why the U.S. military exists. Here's a reminder. The U.S. military exists to fight and win wars. That's its only purpose. The U.S. military is not an NGO. It is not a vehicle for achieving equity. It's not a social experiment. It's definitely not an employment agency. Nobody has a God-given right to work in the military. No one does, and that includes all of us. If you ever hear this show whine that Delta Force is discriminating against paunchy 51-year-old cable news hosts, you'll know that we have lost the thread because it's not about us. It's about the country. Making people feel valued and included is a good thing. It is not the point of the U.S. military. It cannot be the point of the U.S. military, or else we're done. Now, that used to be obvious. The military was the purest meritocracy that we had. If you get a minute, go back and listen to some of the speeches that Colin Powell used to give about his experience in the U.S. Army. The military is willing to judge Colin Powell purely on his talents, something that few would do at the time. Powell was smart and capable, and for that reason, in the end, he became chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was justly proud of that, and so was the country he served.
Yeah, it's fine.
Would Colin Powell's story be possible today? Okay. No, it wouldn't. Joe Biden has put a man called Lloyd Austin in charge of the Pentagon. Biden plucked Austin from the cynical world of private equity, but you're not supposed to notice that. You're supposed to notice only that Lloyd Austin is black. The real headline, however, is that Lloyd Austin is the second defense secretary in a row to have been on the payroll of Raytheon, the massive defense contractor. If you saw something like that happen in a Central American country, you would call it corruption, and you would be right. For centuries, our military has been self-consciously nonpartisan. In a democracy, it has to be that way. The military has to be nonpartisan. No country can survive if its armed forces become a tool of a specific political party. We know that because it happens all the time, all over the world, and the consequences are always horrifying. It has never happened here. But Lloyd Austin is openly political. In his first days on the job, Austin made the entire armed services submit to a kind of political purity test. Anyone who had views that Lloyd Austin found, quote, extreme, had to leave. The rest of us watched as this happened. We saw it. Once again, no one said anything. The left approved. The right felt hamstrung because they support the troops. Of course, if you support the troops, you probably should speak up when they're being abused, as they were. Then Lloyd Austin said about accelerating poisonous trends already in progress at the Pentagon. Worst of these is the use of irrelevant criteria in hiring and promotion. In order to meet the demands of various democratic interest groups, the Pentagon has dramatically lowered standards in the services. Now, spokesmen officially deny this, but it is true. Ask anyone who works there. If you press the spokesman, they'll tell you that it's not really a big deal because traditional standards don't really measure anything. Well, then why have them in the first place? Why have standards at all? It doesn't make sense. They're lying. And they're lying because they have to lie. Politicians have demanded it. Now, if you dare to point any of this out, they become hysterical. And they become hysterical because they can't defend their own policies. When people can't defend what they've done, they yell. They can't even explain what those policies are, at least in public. So they attack. You hear politicians like Tammy Duckworth say that it's unpatriotic to question the Pentagon unless you have served in the military yourself. You haven't earned that right. Really? Can only cops talk about police brutality? If you haven't been elected to office, are you allowed to criticize Congress? They're not making a real argument. They're trying to silence dissent. Not playing along. Sorry. Every American citizen has a right, maybe an obligation, to know what the military they pay for is doing, because our lives may depend on it. Today, the Department of Defense launched a large and coordinated public relations offensive against this show. Pentagon brass issued hostile statements. People in uniform sent out videos on social media. The DoD even issued a news release attacking us. Press Secretary smites Fox News host. Smites. Like we're a hostile foreign power. We suspect this is one war they might actually win. They've got a manpower advantage. We could play you a lot of tape from this today. It took up most of their day, and we could marvel over it. Since when does the Pentagon declare war on a domestic news operation? Can't remember that ever happening. But we're not going to do that. We're going to pass, because this is bigger than a feud with some flack at the Pentagon. This is genuinely worrisome. The Department of Defense has never been more aggressively or openly political. Tonight, they're
overpriced filler and marketing hype.
No.
Sorry about that. I like
Fucking.
so. But no.
American troops stationed in Afghanistan, and they remain there to prevent the fall of Kabul to extremists. At the same time, there are 5,000 troops in our own capital tonight, also as protection against extremists, meaning people who voted for the losing candidate in the last election. Judging by those numbers, the Pentagon is now twice as focused on controlling our own citizens as it is on controlling the Taliban. Meanwhile, as Lloyd Austin hyperventilates about white supremacy, there are real threats out there, and the biggest ones continue to be ignored. Those threats are not Syria, they're not suburban Virginia, they're not domestic extremism, at least right now. The main threat that we face, and everyone who is honest knows this, is the government of China. China is ascendant. Their economy will soon outpace ours. China now has the largest navy on the planet. Why do they have that? Why did they feel the need to build it? Does that have potential consequences for us? Yes. If China moved against Taiwan, how exactly would we respond? More likely, if the Chinese decide to close international shipping lanes, it would cripple our economy. If they decide to shut down our internet, it would bring our life to a halt. If they decided to occupy Malaysia, that would be a grave concern to the world. If any of these things happen, or 100 other things that might happen, what exactly would our Pentagon do about it? Can the U.S. military still win a real war? Those are the questions that matter. Those are the only questions that matter, which may be why Joe Biden wants to talk about maternity flight suits.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Bam.
So, long story short, please summarize.
If you actually want me to discuss pregnant women in the military, go fuck yourself. I'm not even having that conversation. Like, really? Yeah. No, I'm not going to debate this. Has anybody ever seen a pregnant woman?
Not
like when they get too far along It's like, what happens when like the plane starts going down? We all need to like bug out and like jump out of our seats and run out and jump out of the parachute.
Yeah.
Is that pregnant woman? Oh, my feet are swollen. Oh, and just start hobbling down the freaking wall, and we're all gonna have to help her and all that.
Yeah,
and it's just
then,
like
what is she
this
gonna
is,
be?
and then we're
What if she
and
starts,
then we're all
what if she
gonna
starts
die.
craving, fried pickles? What if she starts craving fried pickles, and we're like in the middle of Iran trying to like destroy the objective, and this woman is like, over here chilling. Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
everybody knows women crave weird. I mean, it's just you're like in a different state of consciousness, awareness. It's not. You gotta
right.
focus your whole energy on the kid. Why
I think it's the baby. I think it's the baby.
it's
Like,
not
I
like-
want to try this. Give me some fried pickles, Mom.
Yeah, it's just, man. It's not even. It
But-
shouldn't be debated. It's stupid. It's dumb.
Like,
We're not
pregnant
doing
women
that.
do not
You
belong.
think China is
and-
letting pregnant women? You know.
Hey, and honestly, you know what? In the military, if you get a piercing while you're in the military, I think it used to be tattoos as well, but even tattoos on the face or any exposed part of your body, that's considered destroying government property, right? Because at that point you're the government's property. Yeah, you're a soldier. You sold your soul. You're property now, right?
Wow,
So
love
if a
being
woman
slaves.
gets pregnant and she's in the military, doesn't that mean she has stolen 9 to 10 to 12 months of our lives? And if we really want to raise a good child to be a good citizen, we're going to say the next 5 years and 9 months. Like, she has stolen all of that time from the military. What if I just went AWOL for 5 years and 9 months and just disappeared and then came back? Hey guys, they put me in prison, right? So it's just like, it's not like it's like, but women, they get pregnant, so we can't. No, tell those fucking women to get on birth control or stop fucking around. Actually, birth control is bad for you anyway. Stay off birth control and just don't have sex. You know what? If you're so military trained and disciplined, and you can't not have dick for 4 years.
Man, it's like all these new lesbians, man. They're all like,
right.
Like they think they're men. It's pretty weird.
Right.
Until that giant spider, pops down from the ceiling.
Right.
And you go running away.
I think this is the head of the Marine Corps, which I think they did have to come out and apologize to Tucker Carlson about it. But women lead our most lethal units with character. The most lethal are all led by women. Are you sure?
I remember somebody saying that they were told there was a plan to put all these militant lesbians in like the top military positions because they're more like savage or something, or like
no, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's all wrong. No, the whole women are more savage thing. No, it's because men don't go full out on them. I'm sorry.
Because like women are. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that, but it was.
Yeah, I've fought enough and I've trained enough women, and I can tell you they're not the same. Even when they want to get mean, they're not the same. Have some 200-pound dude like bashing your face in, and then have some 150-pound woman trying to bash your face in, who's trained just as long. It's not going to be as bad. Sorry, it's not. But this guy went on. He said they will dominate any future battlefield we are called to fight on. At Tucker Carlson's words are divisive. Don't reflect our values. We have the most professional, educated, agile, and strongest NCO corps in the world. It's like just overselling it. Like women are the pinnacle. They're the key to our military, and they're the ones and all that. And it's just like, you can't just say they're equal. Like, wouldn't you think that would be the thing? It's like, hey, they're just as good as our men. We're all Marines, right? That would be my approach. But no, he's like, women are just the goddesses that are on the battlefield and we can't win without them.
It's so
It's
dumb.
like,
It's all planned about emasculating our society. That means like feminizing
right.
men and just making us weaker. I mean, because you need to have men. It's inside humanity. Don't forget, Aldous Huxley wrote it. Everybody, I'm gonna remind you before we move on to our final subject. Subscribe to Decide What Side. Decide what side. Periscope, Twitter, YouTube,
Minds,
Rumble,
Locals, Rumble. Yep. We need to get a list. We need to get a little ticker on the side here or something.
Yeah, there's one at the bottom, but I only list like the main ones. I need to update it. But for sure, YouTube and Twitter or Periscope are more updated often. But we're trying. There's a lot of stuff.
Right, and it only uploads and downloads so fast, people.
Yeah,
and it's like I only want to upload a couple things at once because my computer might crash.
Yeah, because I mean, I think somebody needs to talk about the New World Order takeover.
Right, somebody should. But anyway, one more thing on this, and this article points it out: if women are the most lethal and that we can't live without them, then why do we have to lower physical standards for them?
Yep.
You know?
True.
They say they're going to make new armor, body armor for them. Well, it's not going to work unless you have the flat plates. It doesn't work as well. It can go through. They've tried to curve them around people's chests and everything. It just creates weak points.
Because of the boobs?
Well, just a curve of any kind. They've tried to do it with men's, make it like kind of wrap around here. They figured out when you start morphing it and trying to like make it fit the human, like all the creases make it weaker. So like you'll be fine here, but here, boom, it'll nail you. So a plate is necessary. So they say they're going to create new body armor for women. So more women are going to die. Cool.
At the end, I think they're just trying to get it all ridiculous to where they're just gonna say, "Oh, we'll replace you with robots because you suck."
Yeah.
And
we didn't see this coming. We thought the woman would be good, but let's just go to robots now. Fuck it.
Because women are gonna be like, shooting a gun hurts my feelings.
Okay, let's not be too stereotypical, but yeah, pretty much.
And then they'll be like, oh, well, why don't we just let the robots do the killing for us? And then you're just replaced. And then Terminator comes after us. I do believe eventually they'll use drones to come after humans. But like the thing is that the problem is that things are gonna get crazy, but like the leftists think you're saying that it's gonna happen like tomorrow or like next week.
Right.
It sounds crazy if you don't get the context. But obviously we're in the fourth industrial revolution. I mean,
right.
That's when
remember that
exponential growth curve of technology because we've got artificial intelligence, advanced robotics, nanotechnology, 3D printers, a lot of data, more unlimited storage, pretty much. You know what I mean? So all these things mixing together, it's the recipe for technology of the gods, man.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And do you see that one video that one time, the Boston Dynamics? You're saying drone warfare. Everybody's like, oh, so a big old drone's going to be flying in the air? No, it's going to be one like this big that you're going to see for a second right before it sticks to your forehead and blows up.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to kill you. Or they're just going to take all your shit off your computer, all your passwords and everything. They're just going to take all your shit. And then, oh, whoops, it wasn't us. Prove it was us.
Yeah, so it's time to be praying and getting yourself right. Decide what side you're on.
Right.
Should I play the video of the lady getting tackled? 6-5-year-old?
Yeah, because, I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
This is private property at a bank. Probably FDIC backed, too. So, therefore, the government backs the bank that she's getting kicked out of. Cool.
Can you hear it? Oh, there you go. This woman goes into the bank.
Look at it, and like, look at this lady's reaction when he comes up. She's like, "Oh, thank God you're here. She's there. The scary woman. Oh,
this is the cop.
Yeah, the cop's body cam.
I'll say if they ask you to leave, you have to leave.
My money's in this bank, and I'm going to take it out.
Well, then you have to abide by the rules.
If y'all didn't hear, her money is in this bank.
It's not.
This cop is a pussy. If you want an example of a man with zero balls,
that's their choice.
here you have it. He's
Awesome.
wearing a
Well,
camera.
you need to go and get a mask and then take your money out. You're not
I bet
allowed to
you've
leave.
seen all kinds of cops in your area just like ignore crime and just walk away and just not care. It's like, why doesn't he just do it here? Why doesn't he just walk away and not charge her with anything? Oh, because it's a bank.
The laws, yes.
The law?
The law? There is no law.
You can not in public, but you're not in public. You're not in public. I'm not going to argue with you about this. This is not a public place. This is
Man, this cop is a loser.
No,
this
not.
cop has
We're
zero
gonna go
balls.
outside.
He's going along with the New World Order. He's going along with communism.
He's just doing his job, everybody will say. Well, if you're okay with doing this job, then you need to go fuck yourself and go die.
No. You shoot me for trying not to breathe?
Cool.
Come on, dude.
Look, this is human to human.
Oh, no.
She was walking out and he grabbed her. What the fuck is with him?
Psychopath.
And all those pussy men standing around not doing a damn thing, not trying to de-escalate or nothing. And this is the whole problem with police these days. They want to escalate. They do not want to de-escalate. They want to escalate. Because then, see, he gets to do an MMA move and like shove her down on the ground. Yeah. These cops these days just get off on being commandos.
Damn, this dude is a rapist. I just get like rapist vibes from him.
Private area?
Your private area?
Yeah.
Put your hands behind your back.
My hand is behind my back, sir.
This one. Turn over on your stomach. Put your hand behind your back. Relax.
I'm totally relaxed.
No, you are not relaxed.
This is a fucking demon
Not
piece of
relaxed
shit
at all.
psychopath. Fuck this loser.
And he's doing what all cops do. Relax, relax, while he's yanking your arm one direction and shoving you down the other one. Relax, relax.
Oh,
You're not relaxing.
Yeah, okay. Stand up. Stand up.
Oh yeah, but George Floyd gets 27.
Oh, dude, I would just laid there if I was her. I would have made them pack my ass out of there like a fucking sack. It would not even have been fucking funny. It would have been funny, but.
You're trying to speak Spanish to people?
I do speak Spanish.
Okay, well, stand up.
Like a 65-year-old woman here.
Okay.
What did she say? Are you that man?
Stand up.
I have no idea.
Stand up.
She says, "Help me, please."
Ayúdame, por favor.
You're trying to speak Spanish to people?
Look at this piece of shit.
Are you trying to speak Spanish to people?
Are you happy now, lady? Okay. I'm not happy. You
Okay, stand up.
Yeah, fucking loser. Fucking piece of shit.
Come on.
All over a whole
what?
fake
She's
She's
bullshit
getting yourself.
thing.
Come on.
Well, you know what? When Ebola comes and you're hemorrhaging out of your ass and your eyes and you've got white cuts everywhere, no, that
Dude.
mask isn't gonna protect you, you dumbass.
Dude, this is
That's
why
not
I don't
even
go
touch it.
around. Because if I was in her position and that lady was bending down to get my stuff, she would have had a foot right in the middle of her nose. I wouldn't have given a fuck at that point. Just boom, full on fucking football kick right in the fucking jaw. It wouldn't have been fun. It would have been hilarious.
Yeah, well,
This is why I don't go out in public, dude. Because I get fucking infuriated with this shit.
oh yeah.
But, you know, I'm not allowed
Okay,
to. I just need to
that's
calm down
today's
and let
show.
everybody
Thanks for
fucking do it. Sorry.
Shit, I started the outro because I think there was a lag there.
Yeah,
But
no, I was just getting mad. I'm just getting mad. Like, this is why I don't go around.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Don't forget, subscribe to Side with Side and resist New World Order. New World Order. New World Order.